Hello, welcome back to Man Matters podcast. Today, myself, Dervin, and today we have a special guest, Kat from Panama. You'd like to introduce yourself, a little bit yourself.
Okay, hello everyone. I am Kat. My name is Katia Gonzalez. That's short from Katia. Actually, the name I got it from the States. A friend of mine that couldn't pronounce my name because it's spelled Kathia, and she would call me Katia or Katia. And then she said, I'm just going to call you Kat. So everybody knows me as Kat now, everywhere, even here in Panama now. And I am a purple belt. Like I recently got promoted for a purple belt on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I train in Panama, town outside of Panama City called La Chorrera. And I've been training Jiu-Jitsu for 5 years.
How do you get into
Congratulations
Jiu-Jitsu?
on that.
Yeah, congratulations. How do you get into Jiu-Jitsu at the beginning?
Well, I used to do martial arts when I was about like 15 years old. I started. I used to do karate. I did karate for like 4 to 5 years too, until I was like 20 when I started going to college, or I was like classroom was getting heavier and I couldn't say continue. And I went up until purple belt in karate. And then after that, I stopped. I went on my life, college, moved to the States, came back. I did a couple of classes of boxing, but I didn't get into that. And then I tried to go back to karate again. And I went to a class with a former professor of karate. And when I went to the class, it was like only like kids like from 8 to 12 years old. So I was like, we're like gonna be, mashing up or doing committees or whatever. So I only went to one class, honest to when I was back. And then I looked into martial arts. I found out that it was Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that I heard about it before, but I never did it. So I called up to this academy in Panama here in my town. And I was like, yeah, I want to go to a class. And they told me, yeah, come to a trial class. And as soon as I went in and I did the trial class, I really like get into that at my first class. I knew I liked it and I was gonna keep going back. And 5 years later, I'm here still.
What do you think it was that like drew you to it? When you first started, what was like grabbed you? It was like, this is really nice.
Well, I think I watched before UFC. So before that, I had some jiu-jitsu, some, mixed martial arts and stuff. And I think I've seen like rear naked chokes, I think that was pretty cool. And then when I went to the class and I went to the first class and I started like I was training with other people and I see like how like cool it was to like submit someone, and even if they were like bigger or taller than, I mean, I didn't submit anyone, but I saw that, in the class that when they were rolling, like even if smaller people will like have bigger opponents. And I thought like it was really nice. And I could like learn self-defense. Like that was the first one, to be honest. It was like, I want to learn self-defense. I want to continue on doing this. And I also want to like lose weight, for example, like be in shape, be in a good shape. And that definitely helped.
Definitely can understand that. I mean, I think my first experience is very similar, is that I went in and I got submitted so many times. And then I realized like if I start doing this and if I keep doing this, in theory, I could do this to other people and that would be really cool. So yeah, I think very similar to that.
What are some initial challenges you faced when you first started doing Jiu-Jitsu?
Well, I started before COVID. So I did a couple of months before it started the pandemic, and then they shut down the gyms and everything. We went in the lockdown, and then when I was coming back, I was afraid that I will get the COVID, but because they reopened everything, but you were still like there was like people that has not get the vaccination. A lot of people refuse to take it, and people continue, getting infected with COVID. And I think that was like what I was afraid of all the time. Like not even like breaking a bone or anything like that. It was like most like to get sick or like to get COVID and bring it back home, bring it to my dad or to my parents, like that was what very challenging at the beginning. For me the first year. That's what I was very afraid of also. And jiu-jitsu, you're very close to your opponents and other people.
Sometimes you're breathing mouth to mouth to somebody.
Yeah,
Right, of course. Yep, there is no space between the opponent and yourself.
I mean, we give each other MRSA and all their skin infection, let alone airborne
yeah, for
virus
real.
stuff.
Yeah,
Right? Well, yeah, it's that's understandable because it was here we had like that, but we didn't have like. Luckily, the gym didn't shut down around us. Well, some places that were bad, like up in Canada, people used to get written up, like you can't anticipate fine. The coach was afraid that somebody's going to call and get us fined for running a class during that time. But luckily, we didn't have that. He was able to keep the classes going, but it was small class, like 3 people class. It was different during that time.
Yeah, and also some people used to go with the mask on, but you would use the mask for like 3 minutes, like at the beginning of the warm up, and then you were like, can't even breathe to take it out.
But yeah, especially if humid.
Yeah.
What's some key milestones like from like you say you recently got promoted to purple belt, like from white belt to right now, what are some key milestones that you can recall?
For me, okay, so I had a recent experience. Well, like even actually last year, before getting promoted, I did my first competition in nogi and gi, and even when I did not win, like the first place, I got silver both categories. I feel very good about my preparation for that competition. Like I prepared very well. I trained really hard. I cried, like I feel good about it. I get tapped, I tapped other people, so, but I think the preparation for that tournament, because before that, I competed in March and I didn't win and I didn't feel that I was like really into, the mood of, okay, I'm going to train really hard for a competition. So during that time between March and June, I feel that I trained really hard. And even when I didn't win, I know that I did my best and it was awesome. Like my roles were really good. Those were actually the best ones, and and also like there to compete with Nugget for the first time. I only did it once, Evan.
do you train much in the gi, or is it mostly, or do you train much in the no gi, or is it mostly gi?
Well, actually, that was funny because even when I've been training for 5 years, I only have 1 year of continued nogi training. Like I used to like go like once in a month before because I didn't enjoy, like the sweat. I think it was harder for me like to instead of grabbing the grip, like that mono to I have to, get your hands and it was slippery and like guys are stronger. I used to be for a long time the only girl training nogi for quite some time. And like even when I have like try to find like partners that were about like my side, I still have to like roll. Like I always challenge it and push myself. Like even like try to like roll with bigger opponents, like heavier. So like my mindset up is not to roll with someone that I feel that like to be in a comfort zone. Like for example, even when there's people that roll really hard, they still like I feel comfortable with them because I don't know I know how they roll. I know that they're not gonna hurt me, but they still, like very competitive. So like if someone tapped me so many times, I wanna keep rolling with that person until I get better or at least like I get to the point that, like for the first time this person didn't tap me out in 5 minutes. Or like we lasted 4 minutes, or like I lose 30 seconds before the match and things like that. Yeah. And going back to the point of the nogi and the gi, I get an advice. It was someone told me, like if you do more no gi, you're gonna get better at gi, because you're gonna be faster and your moves and stuff like that. And like when you don't have the grip, you're still gonna have other parts, to grab and like other techniques. So I definitely started going like I kind of like pumped myself up and I like bought me the Noki rash guard and the pants. So I was like motivated to go, girls.
Yeah,
so
you got to commit. Yeah.
so I was like, so I started doing that. I only owned like one or two rash guards before. Now I have like six, to go to Nogi. So that's definitely something that gets me going. Like, the new pink rash guard.
Yeah, the Power
Yeah,
Ranger outfit.
but no pinky, no
No
pink
pinky.
kimono. No, 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 no. Never
Respect.
liked it. Yeah, never liked it. No, no, no pink or purple. Not my colors. No, I keep the traditional. You know,
Yeah, a lot of gyms are traditional, like white, blue, or black. Like they don't allow it, or I think gray, not even gray.
white,
Yeah,
blue,
Yeah.
and black.
Yeah.
yeah,
Some
I
are
mean,
just white and blue. I thought black
yeah,
was even in some of the more traditional ones. I've started liking the black gis just because they don't stain. They
yeah,
don't get the matte grossness on there.
yeah. Especially the white ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the white ones a lot. I like the look, but oof, they do show the stains.
Like for this special occasion.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
those blood stains are hard to get off too.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
learned that from Deadpool. Yeah, like yeah, I think Atos they only wear white. In
Really?
Boys Gracie only wear white in their gyms. They're all white. Yeah, that's tradition. Because remember, Boys Gracie used to come out with Helio, the white gi all the time.
Mhm. Huh.
So,
That's
so hey,
interesting.
so the PDD parties they're all white too. Hey, what can we say? What can we say? Who are we to judge?
Yeah.
We listen and we don't judge.
Don't judge.
Um, well, so you said what? Do you feel a different in the flow of training after you started doing no gi compared to only doing exclusively gi?
Definitely. Yes. Yes. Even like when I train Nogi, we do a lot of like attacks to the leg and a gi, you're always trying to choke or arm bar or something like that. So that actually when I'm in the gi and I have the leg next or like close or reachable to like a good luck or something, show that. So I think, well, that's one of the things that I believe. And mobility. That's how you say it, mobility. Like easier to move around and stuff. Definitely. Because you're loose when you're without, without gi. You're like more loose. You can like, you don't carry the whole heavy weight of the gi. So
Yeah, much faster
definitely.
paced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that helped.
Yesterday we were doing King of the Mat and how to start in close guard. And man, I was in guard. If I was a king, I was on my back, close guard, and trying to get a grip on somebody without having a lapel or a sleeve you can hold on to. Man, it's a beast. And from close guard, you try to keep your guard. You have try to find a way on the hug, grab the head, especially the posture of somebody like keeping their head because you can just grab the lapel, keep pulling them down. But if you don't have those grips, it's a beast trying to keep somebody down in your close guard for attacks.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Are you saying I'm curious if you were kind of saying you felt like the bigger opponents you could restrain them better in the gi than in the no gi? Do you think that's just because that's what you're familiar with? Or I've honestly been curious about which is better for the smaller opponent because the flip side is the bigger guy, if they get a grip, it's really hard to strip it sometimes. I'm curious, yeah, do you think it's easier to face a larger opponent in the gi versus the no gi?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Mhm. Yeah, when they're like big tall guy, I'm 5'3". So normally, like usually they guys that are like 6 feet tall, and like the first thing I go when I'm doing noggin with them is going to the legs. I don't even know what else to attack, like.
Mhm.
And if they're in the gi, I try to, try to do other like get in the bag, try to do a show, and
Mhm. No, that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah.
The feet are the equalizers. There's no everybody's ankles are weak.
But yeah, that's the first line of contact to the floor too. It's not like I'm
Mhm.
levitating. They have to touch
Yeah.
the floor. Now, question: are you a takedown or are you a guard puller?
Okay, that's hard. Okay, I used to think that I was a takedown, and then I decided need to start pulling guard. And actually, that's my year's resolution to do more guard game. You know, that's what, like been trying, practicing that a lot ever since a few months back. But after getting the purple belt, I'm like, oh, now I have to get into this more, like more into guard.
No, I mean that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like it is important to know at least some of both games, the takedowns and the guard pulling. I personally have no background in wrestling, so my stand up is pretty terrible. That being said, I like playing the top game better. I mean, it's still my preferred, but it's forced me to learn some of the guard game as well, just because some guys are better wrestlers, and I have to give that to them. So I have to play the guard game.
There is a point that you need to have a balance because you need to know what you're gonna do with, like especially if you want to compete and do other stuff, like have your game ready, like because you have a plan. Like that's always what happened. Actually, in my first, we haven't get to the point of the competitions, but I was like, yeah, I am going to pull guard, and when I see my opponent, I was like, that's not gonna happen. Like I
Okay.
know that I have to switch the plan.
hmm
Because you sometimes you don't know the opponent. There's many more things that I want to add about, when it comes to the competition and women and all that here.
It's a fine balance between like pushing and pulling. Like for example, going for the takedown and pulling guard. It's that timing because sometimes you pull guard and you pull somebody out of your guard instead of pulling into your guard. It's like a small timing to get them, especially from standing up when you go down. It's like, side control. Damn it, I miss it. Let me get back to hand guard at least. It's just that it's like the timing. It just takes practice too to get it in. Because like for example, the split guard too. Trying to get it underhook, a head tie up, and trying to get him into
But
your guard.
yeah, that can even happen when you try to throw a takedown and it goes wrong and you like fall with the opponent. That also happens. Like it happens.
One thing I tried to do in the gym with Adolfo was going for a fake a takedown and go for a very ball roll. Oh man, he's at
How'd
the
that
time he
go?
was like 275. Missed the leg. I missed the leg, but I was able to catch the ankle and I scooted to the side and elevated his ankle. So I kind of have like make him split off the step, so he fell. So he fall on top of me, but man, that could have gone wrong. In the very ball of being upside down, having somebody like 275 on top of your neck. You have to do it fast. Get in, get out. The,
Some
oh,
dire consequences.
oh yeah. Like for example, flying triangle. That's one that you just asking for it. You have to do it right, otherwise.
Otherwise, you knock yourself out.
Oh yeah. That being said, me playing grab ass in college, I tore my shoulder. I tore my shoulder. I was grappling. I was just wrestling with my roommate, and I did a roll armbar. Instead of rolling to the head, I rolled the other way and went shoulder first into the ground and just caught my shoulder. Just from that,
Shit.
I almost had to sit out half of the season. But I was like, just for dicking around. Oh yeah, man. But that's how you learn. Just trying those, like, that's a good trying new moves, just like being risky, but like you have to drill them, of course, but you have to find the timing to hit him. Otherwise, you will never hit him in competition.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, you have that happen, like a move that you want to learn, and then you drill about it. Like when do you hit it? That move.
Yeah, that I know. Actually, I was the competition in October. I wanted to do the ankle pick, and then I was like, 'cause I was going for takedowns. I knew my opponent already, so, and I was like, I gotta take her down. I gotta take her down. And I was doing the ankle pick, and when I was there, I couldn't do it. I just like blocked myself. I knew that like how to do it. I knew that I was able to, but I did the takedown, but that was not the one I did. Like it didn't. You plan something and it doesn't come up. It's planned.
Yeah, it's
So
always good
that,
to have a different option. So
yeah,
that was
I
my
think
plan
that's
with Sack too. When I was going to get Sack, I was going for an ankle pick, but I never did it. He's 6'3". How do you bring somebody's 6'3" head down to their ankle?
But
Oh,
he's farther to the floor.
oh yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I
that's
was
a
able to
good
get
thing.
Ushimata. I was able to take him down, ball. Man, fuck my shoulder and my elbow. And the first 2 minutes, so I was like, oh shit, I don't have that now.
Change of plans.
Oh yeah, because that happens too. Like whenever you're in the competition, you heard something. Have you ever like pulled something? It's like, oh damn it! For example, you pull your calf, and you like, try to do a triangle with a pulled calf. It's hard to do it because you can squeeze nothing with that. They adjust during the match too. How do you prepare for that?
Uh,
Like just practice. As far as
Sorry.
like if you're hurt, like how do you practice for the unexpected? Like for a competition, like because things might go wrong and you can only practice so much. Where, if, for example, there's a different school of thought. Some people don't like to drill, or don't go high resistance. Other people do competition. They can get used to the competition aspect of the timing. Like, but there are certain things that we cannot prepare. Like, how do you prepare for something that you have? For example, you had a bad wrist 4 years ago, and you've been good during the whole like training, but then the day of the training, you wake up with that aching wrist. Like, how do you prepare for that? Or then just go for a different game plan?
I mean, I feel like that's got to be part of it. Is I think that's part of the beauty of like developing a game is just having more options to go to.
Yeah. Jim, do you ever do the game that you can only do one submission?
One submission.
Yeah. So, for example, okay, I like this game. They have a dice. So different submissions. So both guys have a dice. Your opponent has to throw the dice, and that's the move that you can do on him. And I roll the dice, and that's the move you can do. Or you can do just, for example, you go against me. Okay, you can only go for a guillotine. And he's like, okay, you can only go for um a heel hook. So like, I know a move that I'm not good at. That's the move I'm gonna pick for you to do on me. So like, how do you guys try to do that in the gym?
I will not in mind. I just learned about the chess jiu-jitsu. Never heard of that. Well, I did that once, but I didn't know it was called chess jiu-jitsu. You heard of that one?
What was that?
Oh, okay. So I saw it actually 2 days ago on Instagram, but I have done it. I did it with actually I had a friend. He trains in Kenya and came to visit, and we did jujitsu. And then he's like, "Hey, let's do like you do one move." And you grab like you have like you can do one move at the time, then you let your opponent do it. It's called like chess. Like it's like what you were calling uh, chess, and then you can only do one move. Like, and if you do a wrong move, then you're screwed because he is gonna like know what like after what's gonna happen. Like he can do a move on you and just sweep you off or some stuff like that.
Oh,
So that was like,
That's
yeah,
pretty cool. So you're
yeah,
doing one move, and then they get to do a or like
yes,
a movement or something like that.
yes. Like I grab the grip. You can grab my lapel, like I mean, I grab the lapel. You can grab the grip. You can hold, like the leg or like go on delivery by, like or pull things like that, and you do one move at a time. So like if you do Del Riba, I'll try to grab your knee or like push it or like hold it so you don't do anything like past that. Yeah,
That
that's pretty
sounds
cool.
really interesting. I've
Yeah,
never heard of that, but that's really
I
cool.
yeah. I haven't trained in 2 days, but as soon as I get back to the gym, I tell my coach about that. It's 2 days, like at least in the kids. 'Cause I'm also like coach with the kids classes, so then that will be something cool for them to do, and adults too.
I've tried that, but I've tried 3-1. So I tried to one guy does 3 transition and 1 submission. So whatever transition you are, what position that you're in, you have to go for a submission from that position that you're in. There was a takedown, guard pass, side control. So you have to go submission from there. Then now they got to try to get a side control, uh, getting guard, or try to go for a clamp guard, and then he has to go for submission from there. And then they got to try to get out there. So like 3-1. I've done it before, but I haven't done like just 1-for-1 for jiu-jitsu like that. But he'll be like for
Yeah,
transition.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I never heard the one of the dice. We don't even know like movement dice. So that
Yeah,
will be cool.
somebody gave it to me for Christmas. I was coaching one of the kids, and they gave me that dice for Christmas. Yeah, well, it's fun because you can just pick like your opponent picks the move for you.
That's cool.
Does add a new challenge because, like, a lot of the time, yeah, it's not a move you normally do, so you got to think of a totally different way
But yeah,
to roll.
and then some moves are not for your body. For example, having thick legs, there's no way I'll be do a triangle anybody.
Yeah,
I can't get. I can just have a little baby. That's the only way I can triangle. My leg is nowhere from
Yeah,
triangle. I can get a good squeeze, but like I can't get nowhere in a triangle.
I feel the same way. But you know what? It's very interesting that this happened to. There was this guy. He was like 18. This like very skinny little bluebells that no one can choke. Like they're like I don't know if they're like elastic or something. But and he couldn't get like I was training with him. Like never trained with him, but he was very famous for not getting choked by anyone or triangle or anything. He will skip triangles. And I was like, we were just drilling. And I did the triangle to him. And he was like, man, I feel like because your legs are tight. All the guys are not like what my same like body complexion. They have like skinny legs. So I cannot feel the muscles of the legs. So I just like skate. But yours are like really tight. So if I get to do the triangle correctly, then I will be able to show them. But that's a problem because your legs are so short.
Yeah, it's hard to get it sometimes unless you get like a mounted triangle. Yeah, that one's game over. That's only why because you have to hang yourself upside down, on your legs like that to get a triangle.